What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Martial Arts Monday review, and welcome back to another Sister Street Fighter review. Now, last week I reviewed Sister Street Fighter, the film that introduced Etsuko Shiome, a prodigy of Sonny Chiba, to the martial arts film world. I had already seen the second film when I did that review, so I kind of had more of a taste of what the whole trilogy is like. And by the way, there are 4 films on this excellent Arrow set. The 4th film is not part of, well, of course it's not part of the trilogy because it's the 4th film, but it's not part of that canon. She's playing a different character. And so I'm actually hoping for something a little bit different when we get to that 4th film, when I watch that 4th film. More on that in a moment. But I had already watched the second film, so I was going to do a review, but then I was bored the other night, so I watched the 3rd film. So I'm just going to review the next 2 films in this review together. They are very similar, perhaps a little bit too similar, especially if you watch them back to back. Even now, I'm trying to remember, what part was in which movie. They're very similar. We'll get to that in a moment. Overall, it's still a fun, enjoyable set of films so far. I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with the 4th film. Like I said, not the same canon, different storyline. She plays a different character. The director from the first film will return for that. But all these films were made within like a 3-year period, all 4 of them. So, I mean, they just cranked these out. Sonny Chiba did appear as a different character than his Street Fighter character in the first film. He does not appear in either of these 2 films. Now, Tsuchiyomi, as I stated in the first interview, she can carry a film. I mean, she really can. It doesn't hurt that Yusakai Karata is in both of these films, playing different characters, and in both cases, he's playing mysterious characters. Now, he's a legendary martial arts actor, had a few small roles in Japan, but then came to Hong Kong and really had some awesome roles in Shaw Brothers films, but then would go back and forth. I mean, really, what a force in both the Japanese martial arts and Hong Kong martial arts movie scene simultaneously. Really, I don't know if many people really accomplished what he did in that regard. I mean, he was in Fist of Legend with Jet Li later in his career. Just fantastic. And the thing about him is sometimes he was a villain, sometimes he was a hero. So when he shows up in this film, kind of in both films, working his way into the bad guys, you're like, is he really a bad guy? Or is there something else going on here? There's a lot of subterfuge and double crossing in these types of films. These films are very much their own films. Sonny Chiba had his own particular style. I will say, there is a little bit of the shadow of Bruce Lee hanging over the trilogy. In the 3rd film, somebody even has an Enter the Dragon poster on the wall. And just, the use of nunchucks is very present. I don't really know if they got any of this directly from Bruce Lee. Even in the first film, I neglected to mention that one of the villains has like a claw that he slips over his hand. But then again, it's similar to the bad guy in Enter the Dragon. But then again, that could have been like an old ninja weapon or something. I don't really know. But these films do have their own feel and flavor. Part of it's the scenery, the grittiness of it, the funky soundtrack. I really love these soundtracks. They're so much fun. So 70s, But these 2 films are very similar. I think the best thing to do is just read the plot descriptions of both of them, and you'll see what I mean. The second film, 1974, Sister Street Fighter, Hanging by a Thread, Kazuko Yamaguchi directing. He would direct the 2 middle films. This time, Koryu, that's Tsuchiyomi, heads to Yokohama in search of a woman named Biri, kidnapped by diamond smugglers who move their hot rocks by doing something. Now, I won't even read that line, just to keep that a surprise, because that was a little bit jarring. Yikes. They end up somewhere, these diamonds. I'm just going to say that. Koryu's older sister, working as a jewelry designer, is secretly unhappily involved with the gangsters. She's going to find another missing person, just like the first film. Now let's go to the 3rd film, The Return of Sister Street Fighter. This one also directed by Yamaguchi, and this one is an hour and 17 minutes long, okay? The first 2 were a little bit less than an hour and a half. This one is even shorter. When Koryu's childhood friend Shuri, okay, a lot of childhood friends, is abducted by gangsters. A lot of childhood friends who get abducted by gangsters. The desperate young woman recruits a female martial artist and a tough-as-nails stranger, gee, I wonder who that would be, to join her for a dangerous rescue mission. You see how similar they are? I mean, they're just so similar. Yeah, it is cool to see other female martial artists jump in all 3 of these films and fight side by side if necessary. One of her friends even joins her in mid-fight, and it's kind of cute because they're so polite even while they're fighting off bad guys. Oh, hi, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. It's pretty funny. But then they proceed to kick ass. The third film even recreates one of the best stunts from the first film, which I mentioned in my review of Sister Street Fighter, where she kind of stretches out her arms and legs and shimmies up a wall in a narrow alley. So it's kind of like they were really kind of regurgitating some ideas, for sure. Now, the second film set in Yokohama feels a little different. The funny thing is, coincidentally, I just watched another film set in Yokohama. A lot of the background sounds were the same. Their ship horns have their own sound in Japan, apparently. Just the way that different police sirens around the world sound different. But, that one had more of a little bit more of a gritty feel. In both films, you've got bad guys again who are surrounded by all martial artists from all over the world with different skill sets. In the third film, you have a wheelchair-bound martial artist, mysterious guy, who makes the henchmen fight each other. He's only going to go with a certain select team. So you've got like 8 guys, I think, 6 guys maybe, that have to fight each other. And he's got people from around the world. He's got a guy who is supposed to be an Aborigine from Australia, big guy with body paint. Another guy who I think he's supposed to be like a Zulu warrior or something. And and a mysterious guy in a funky hat. You got to have that. It's some crazy costumes. All right. So by the end of it, you've only got a couple guys left. And I know that I'm talking about the third film, but in both films, actually, after the bad guys are settled on attacking Tsuchiyomi, who's coming to rescue somebody in each film, in walks Yu Sakai Karata, looking like a badass in both films. The second film, he's got a really cool looking brown leather jacket. These guys got like so much hair back then, leather jackets, it's just has such a 70s feel. And in both films, he just walks in and says, I can kick anybody's ass in this room. And he works his way in with the bad guys, okay? And in both films, maybe his motives aren't everything that we think they could be on the surface. And I won't really say any more about that, but it's always great to see him in action. And he's just such a cool guy. Great fight scenes, all kinds of weapons. Nunchucks again. Just a plethora of weapons. I can remember more about Shaw Brothers films than I saw a year ago, to be honest with you. And that's not really a knock on these films. Hey, these are just fun films. You just put them on, kind of turn your brain off and watch them. But both films were a lot of fun. By the time you get to the third film, it does seem a little too similar in many parts. So I am hoping. I have known nothing about the fourth film plot-wise. I'm hoping it does have a different feel to it. And of course, Tsuchiyomi would go on to appear in many other Sonny Chiba films. I just found this one, Dragon Princess. Haven't watched it. It's interesting. In this case, usually when they went from Etsuko Shiomi to Tsuchiyomi, they would take out the H, but they didn't there. At any rate, she's fantastic as ever. Spunky. Her outfits are awesome too. Combination of like old style and more modern styles. Just a lot of fun. But I do recommend. Obviously, if you've got this box set, you're probably a fan. Not box set, but this compilation here. And these are all on Tubi. The first film, like I said, the version on Tubi/YouTube tends to be a little shorter. They've taken out some of the violence. I don't think that's the case with the second and third film. But they are available on Tubi if you want to check them out. Let me know what your comments are or your thoughts are about Tsuchiyomi and these Sister Street Fighter films in the comments below. As far as the fourth film, I think I'm going to have a ladies' month down the road. So I'll save that one. And who knows, maybe some other Tsuchiyomi films for that ladies' month at some time in the future. So we'll break away from Sonny Chiba or any of his proteges next time I come back. I'm not sure if it's going to be next Monday or not. But the next Martial Arts Monday review will be something a little different. So come back again for that. And thanks a lot. And I'll talk to you next time. Later.